Yesterday, one of the things we talked about was our thoughts. Specifically, we talked about how our thoughts are not reality. And we talked about how if several of us are in the same place and something happens, we may each have different, completely different, opposite even, thoughts about it. We've also talked about how thoughts are not us, right? We are not our thoughts. We are not that mind chatter. We are not that inner critic. That's not us, who we are at our essence. Now, I was going to talk about something different today, but I was just on a workshop. And during the workshop, someone said something, and I realized that we haven't talked about something really important yet. So I want to tell you what she said. She said, I'm learning how to allow an emotion to come up and that it is not me. It's just an emotion. I'm learning how to allow an emotion to come up and that it's not me. It's just an emotion. And so I realized that this is something we haven't talked very much about, right? It's our emotions. And think about how you tend to deal with emotions. Do you stuff emotions down and try to ignore them and let them build up and build up and build up? And then what happens if you do that? Do they eventually burst out? Or do you allow those emotions to come up at the time you're feeling them? So, just like we're not our thoughts, we're also not our emotions. Our emotions are just that, they're just emotions. And a really big part of well-being is being able to process your emotions in a timely manner, in a way that respects your emotions and that lets them pass. Because that stuffing thing we do when we try to ignore them, or we don't like them, or we feel shame about them, or we judge them and feel like we shouldn't be feeling them, it doesn't work very well. They get stuck inside of us. Sometimes they make us sick. They make us feel bad. And often when we do that sort of thing, they come out at the most inopportune time. And then later we regret how we behaved. We regret the words we said when all of those repressed, stuffed down emotions come vomiting out of us in the form of an argument or an overreaction or just not the ideal way to process them. So we talked in the beginning of the month about pausing, right? We talked about the importance of pausing. And one thing that can really help is that when we notice an emotion coming up, whatever that emotion is, we pause and we observe it. We notice it. We name it. How often do you think I'm feeling whatever it is? I'm feeling rage. I'm feeling intense gratitude and happiness. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling jealousy. I'm feeling envy. So many emotions. You know, my sons are at that stage where we want them to learn about emotions and what all the different emotions are. I've read studies that a lot of adults, like, you know, if you've heard the statistic that like most adults, if you look at the entire population, are able to read at something like an 8th grade level. And when you talk about emotional literacy, I've heard that most adults can only name like 5 emotions on a general basis. They experience 5 emotions. And so we got my sons these posters, and they're like these faces, right? So there's like the ecstatic face, and there's the grumpy face, and there's all these different faces. So there's like maybe 30 faces on this poster, and it's in our pantry off the kitchen, so that when our sons are feeling something, and we can tell they're feeling something, but they're not expressing it, we can send them over to the poster and say, go pick out a word or two that is what you're feeling. And they can look at those faces, and they can think about what they're feeling and try to name it. And that's something we can all do. We may not need the poster. We may just need a moment to pause and think about what is going on. What is this thing we're feeling, this intense thing? And so part of it is like allowing the emotion to exist, not stuffing it down, but actually feeling it, naming it, and then allowing it to act, like allowing it to be, allowing it to pass through us, right? It's actually better, to go to our room and scream into our pillow and beat our pillow when we're angry than it is to just ignore it and act like everything's fine. It's much healthier to go and express it in a way that doesn't hurt anyone. Don't hurt your foot. Don't kick the metal bed frame. Punch your pillow. Do something that's not going to hurt you or anybody else. But it's much better to get it out. Let it go through us, and then often it's gone, right? We can learn from it. We can look at why were we feeling it. How do we act? Are we pleased with how we acted? Do we wish we could do something different next time that emotion comes up and we notice it? Why did we feel it? We can kind of analyze it and look back on it. But at the time, we can't do all that stuff, right? We're feeling it. And when we're feeling emotions intensely, our analytical, logical mind does not work very well. It does not, they do not coexist. Emotions, strong emotions, and logic don't go together. So respecting our emotions and allowing them to pass through us and realizing that those emotions aren't us. They're just emotions. This thought stuff that goes on in our head is not true. It's not real. It's not us, nor are these emotions. So I thought this was like it just hit me over the head when she said that. I was like, oh, I didn't talk about that and I need to. So on that note, I'm going to just ask you to observe some emotions. Know that if you get to that, you're crying, and that's a release, right? Like you're releasing those emotions. So crying is wonderful. It's really good. Screaming into your pillow is actually good. Taking a brisk walk and hammering your steps out on the pavement and getting out whatever needs to come out is good. It's good. So that's it. All about emotions today. And tomorrow I'll be back with our regular scheduled programming. Take care. Have a great night. If anything comes up, drop me a line and tell me about it if you thought of a new way to process. So, all right. Take care. Bye.